Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot, supportive oracle cards, energy oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Let's see how this goes. Sagittarius. Okay, so you have good energy going in. Missing piece, some type of missing piece, but this is not bad. Like, going into the situation, things are not quite right. It's almost like somebody's not attending who should be attending, or just something is lacking here. When it says financial restraints, I'm not... For some of you, yes, it could be financial. I get that. But I feel like they're saying like something out of your control is keeping the situation from coming together the way it really should. It's almost kind of like, you know, trying to take a vacation and you planned it for a week, but then part of your vacation is revoked and you can only take 3 days. It's kind of like instead of taking a full week vacation, you can only do a weekend, and then you have to come back and go to work because something happened and you have no choice. It's something like that. Or it's kind of like somebody else was supposed to be a part of a situation and they backed out. So you kind of have to take up the slack on that. It's not ideal, but it's still good. The situation is still good, but it's just something is missing. And when it says financial restraints, I really feel like something is missing. Like something is just not there. Other than like, you know, I don't think it's money for a lot of you, by the way. I don't think so. I just feel like something is just not there. But what I'm also getting is like justice is happening in the environment. In other words, your plans are not going off ideally, but something else is rebalancing. Something else is coming into focus. Something else is going to work out correctly because of this. It's not something you're really enjoying, and you might not even see it that well, but there is a rebalancing going on. There's a rebalancing going here. So whatever your plans are that got kind of damaged, I would say, they didn't get completely destroyed, but they got damaged. There's a rebalancing going on here. Now, this could also mean like, all right, you were trying to take that week vacation, you could only end up taking the long weekend, and that's as far as you got. You might get like a compensation later. That could, I don't know if I'm really feeling that though. I feel like when I'm getting justice, I'm getting like the reason that happened, something was out of balance and needed to be fixed. So that kind of fits better for me. Some of you might get a balance out later with recompensation. Maybe. For the majority of you, though, I get the reason things got changed is because something else was out of whack, needed to be corrected, and this is correcting it, so it is worth it. It is. I feel really like kind of like I don't like it. For some reason, I'm just kind of like, don't really like it, but I understand. I feel like when you might be looking at this situation, it's kind of like, it just feels like it's constantly happening. It's a constant problem, constantly in your way. You're trying to figure out, like, why can't I get this to go right? Why does this always have to be a problem? I'm getting, like, the way this is going, it had to go that way. There's a lot of effort being put into a situation, and it feels like it's constant. It feels like it's never ending. It's never ending. It's never ending. But it is trying to figure out what do I need to do. The thing is, I don't think you're going to find anything. Oh, I don't like how that's starting. Whatever's balancing, it has to. Now, the next step forward, it's lingering. It is lingering. Temperance with the Five of Pentacles. Whatever was lacking to begin with, it's now lacking more. So it's almost like, okay, couldn't take the full vacation, got chopped in half, and now I got to work every day. I got to work weekends. I work normal shift plus the weekends now. I have to work all the time, like constantly, constantly, constantly. Oh, I don't like this. Five of Pentacles with the Temperance is like, this is something that, to balance the situation, it's asking for even more now. Even more. Taking from you and giving to this situation that it is balancing. It is balancing, but it's kind of like, for the love of it, like, it's becoming a bit much. Okay, well, this is cheerful and fun, isn't it? You're not getting the honest truth about what's happening here. Something's... What I got really quickly is, if for some of you, if this is a job and you're literally, your vacation is getting cut short and you end up working overtime on top of it afterwards, because I'm getting like somebody's getting ready to sell. I don't know what else to say about that. Like somebody's getting ready to sell, but you don't know it. And you got the deceit with the appreciation, right? They're very good to you. They're very thankful. Be careful of empty promises, because it's one of those things where, for example, if you work for a company and then they're going to sell, they might make promises that they literally have no control over afterwards. If they promise you a raise in a year and then they don't own the company in a year. I'm just saying, be careful of that. I don't know, for some of you I'm feeling something like that. For others of you, somebody is like, they're pulling you away from what you want to do. They're pulling you away from something you enjoy. Then they're pulling you away even more to do more for them. It doesn't have to be a business thing, but like somebody's pulling you away and getting you to do more for them. They're not really honest with why they're doing this. That's what I'm getting. That's the deceit with the appreciation. Like they're showing you that they're really thankful. It looks really good. They're kind of giving you the idea of where it's going. It's a distraction though. Where they're telling you it's going is not where it's going. That's my point. And they're very good to you at this. See, the thing is, they got the caring connections, the appreciation, but the deceit is there too. I think you're being deceived. And you think things are better than they actually are. This is what I'm worried about. Because something is going wrong here in the sense of like they're not telling you the truth. They're getting more and more is being demanded, more and more has to be done. They're trying to fix something, but this is what's coming next. They got the world on their side with the Seven of Swords. The whole situation's changing, and then they're gone. Gone. I don't think you're going to see it coming. Because this isn't going to be bad for you, but I don't know if you're going to like how it happens is the kind of weird part of it. The world happens, and then the Seven of Swords is like, that's out. I'm out. And just kind of like, that's dine and dash type energy. And for those of you who don't know what dine and dash is, it's where you go to a restaurant, you have food, you eat food, and then you just kind of walk out without paying. So you enjoyed all the benefits of everything, and then you just left and didn't pay anything. That's dine and dash. That's also illegal. I think that should be obvious, but for some reason I feel like I need to say that. That is illegal. You could go to jail for that. Do not do that. I just have that weird feeling like I need to put that out there. I don't know why. Because I feel like the majority would be like, well, yeah, obviously. For somebody, though, I feel like I don't know why, but I need to say that, so there you go. Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not okay. The World card, Seven of Pentacles. Or, well, no, the Seven of Pentacles was back there. Seven of Swords. When that happens, see, that happens first. It's almost like whatever you were doing, helping, thinking you know what's going on, doing your best, then one day you show up and like the doors are locked and there's nothing in the building. You're like, where'd all the computers go? Where what's the deal? You're gonna have to move on from this, but I feel like it's default, like you have no choice. It's the Journey card, but it's kinda like the past is the past. Somebody else made a decision, you're just kinda left with the results. I'm not seeing at first you liking this, by the way. Not at first. At first, you got the Envy card. Kind of like, I put in all that work, and I got nothing for it. I've been over backwards. Nothing for it. the advice for this part, because I feel like it's coming, for those of you this is going to hit with, and it depends on what way it's coming, you got all tied up with the door to spirit. Acknowledging that moment and just being honest with yourself about how unhappy you are about it, yes, that's necessary, yes. But there's also this additional energy, kind of like the longer you hold on to it, the longer it holds you down. So you're gonna have to deal with it in some form. But the sooner you move forward and you just pick yourself up and move on from it, kind of like, you know what, that sucks. That's not cool, not right. But realizing it's just holding you down to worry about it or fret about it. Because I feel like some of you, like I can feel myself being like very annoyed with that, very angry with that. And it's like you're completely valid for feeling that way. So we're not saying it's not valid. It's definitely valid for you to feel that way. But acknowledge it, process it, and move on from it. And get something better out of your life. The door to spirit is saying it's hard. It's going to be hard to let go. The more you tie yourself to that, the more you brood about it, the worse it's going to get. This might be one of those situations where I would suggest, if you're really upset with a situation and you can't really resolve it, sometimes what people do is they do what they call a letter to the universe, is what I think you call it. You address a letter to whoever or whatever the situation. You can address it to a situation. Like, dear rotten situation, whatever it was. And just writing out your feelings and then making peace with it while you're writing and letting it go, and then throwing away or burning it safely if you need to release it, and then just kind of like, well, that's the past. I can't do anything about that. Time to go to the future. Time to focus on the future. The sooner you let go of that, the easier it'll be. You're definitely going to have to process it in some way. But like this, I don't feel like you're the only one that's upset with this, by the way. It seems like for the majority of you, there's more than one person who's also kind of very unhappy with how this turned out. Especially if you have people around you who also are feeling very cheated or used, acknowledge it, but then also kind of be like, you know what? Time to pick up and move forward. Let's not dwell on it because it doesn't improve anything. It doesn't make anything better for us. Let's acknowledge the heartbreak, but not tie ourselves to it. Let's release ourselves from the stress. The sooner you do that, the sooner you take the door to spirit, the easier it'll be. I feel like this is obvious, but there's something about this I need to say, because I kind of feel like you're the one leading the way on this. I think that's why we're pushing this so much. Other people will follow your motion forward and try to be on the same path. And for a lot of you, I feel like this isn't something where emotionally you're going to feel like you've moved on from it, but your influence, like your energy, your projective energy will show that it's going to look like you've moved on from it. I feel like that's going to be the first stage for you. Kind of like, I want to move on from it. I don't want to dwell on that, so I'm going to disconnect from it, and I'm just going to focus on things going forward. It's not going to match how you feel emotionally, but I feel like what you're doing, what you're physically doing, is showing like it looks like you are. Other people are going to catch into that. Ironically, when they start catching into that, they also try to emulate that energy. That strengthens you. By you strengthening them, they strengthen you. It kind of builds back and forth, and you're going to pull yourself out of the mud, and you're going to help other people pull themselves out of the mud, and they're going to help you pull out of the mud, and you're going to finally start really moving away from this moment. It's a moment that just... And I feel for a lot of you, I have a weird sense that a lot of you are going to hit this like at this very moment. You're going to be at this spot where you're just kind of like, I can't believe I got used that way. I'm not happy about it. It's not okay. But it's kind of like, all right, now we have to start moving up, picking ourselves up and move forward to something better. It's a lesson learned for whatever that means. But like, it's picking ourselves up and moving forward. And you're helping other people. You're having it's almost like, I don't know if this is how this is going to make you feel, but it's almost like the reason you're a part of this is because you're a positive energy that can start this momentum, start this pulling out of this, and you're helping other people pull out of this too. It's really, you're doing really good with this, even though I don't think you're going to be happy with it, but you are doing really good with it, if that makes sense. Like, you're not going to enjoy this, really, is what I'm getting, sorry, but you are having a very positive effect. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.